Hi guys, good morning, it's Geekonomics here. I hope this finds you well, and today we're going to look at how to use the GCSE specification to help you revise for the Unit 3 exam paper, the synoptic unit, for which of course you have this pre-release stimulus material. I was looking at this with my own students the other day, and when we looked at this particular section with regard to the current account of the balance of payments, it became very obvious to us what the likely questions might be on the exam paper once we had had a look at the specification. So I want to share that with you, ladies and gentlemen, and then hopefully you can apply it across the remaining figures in the spec. So without further ado, let's get to that. So here we have the current account balance as presented in this particular figure 1, and we'll not say much about this apart from obviously it's in deficit all the time and the deficit is getting larger. But the key point here is, what might you be asked in the exam with regard to this particular figure? So this is the way we would go about trying to predict what the likely question or questions will be. We go to the specification, ladies and gentlemen. You can get this from the OCR website if you haven't already got a copy. So if you Google OCR GCSE Economics, make sure you take the spec from Jan 2012 and go to the 2.3, which is Unit 3. Okay, so now we're looking at the specification. We need to look here for something to do with the current account balance. So having already looked at this, I know that the current account balance is on the second page. Any reference to it is on page 2. So here we are. And you can see here we've actually only got 2 little sections with regard to the current account, although there is quite a lot within those 2 sections. So let's take a look at these bullet points, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. If you can do all of these 5 bullet points, you ought to be able to handle any question presented to you on the exam paper. It says here, candidates should be able to. Now, because it says candidates should be able to, if you can do all of these things, the exam board is not allowed to ask you anything above and beyond that. So really, prepare to answer these 5 bullet points, and you'll be absolutely hunky-dory fine for the exam. So point 1, identify the components of the current account. Goods, services, investment income, current transfers. Boom, you're done. Calculate the balance of trade in goods, services and the current account balance. Okay, how do we calculate the balance of trade in goods? We're looking at the money in from exports and we're taking off the money out for imports. How do we do it for services? We do the same thing. And then how do we calculate the overall current account balance? We add the 4 balances together. So we're talking about the current account balance in goods, services, income and transfers. Just add them all together. Bearing in mind some of those will be minus numbers, so that could be the only possible tricky part of that calculation. That gives you a total. So that's that sorted. Explain what is meant by a balance of payments, deficit and surplus. Now, it's not very well written, this, because it doesn't really tally up to your textbook, those of you using the OCR endorsed book, because it refers more in your book to the current account, and certainly in the pre-release calls it the current account. So when you see balance of payments, think current account or trade balance. So, explain what's meant by a deficit or a surplus. Very straightforward. Deficit, money out greater than money in from trade, and obviously surplus the opposite. Understand the reasons for a balance of payments deficit. There are 6 bulleted points in the OCR endorsed textbook. Take a look at them. Some of them to do with loss of competitiveness in the UK, means that people don't buy our exports and hence the value of M is greater than the value of X. Exchange rate issues, all sorts of things which I'll not go into in this video, but take a look. Again, that's very straightforward. And then lastly, ladies and gentlemen, and I would suggest to you that you do practice and prepare for this, evaluate the methods of rectifying a balance of payments deficit. And in your pre-release material, we've got lots here in the current account and subsequently on the exchange rate as well. So it's not unrealistic to assume that you might get an 8-mark discussion question which will be based upon this particular bullet point. Now you'll know evaluate means discuss. So tell me some policies that you could use to cure a current account deficit, but also tell me why those particular policies might be very successful or might not be successful at all, and explain those to me. And again, ladies and gentlemen, I do suggest that you do probably more extensive prep on that. But if you can do all of those, ladies and gents, with regard to figure 1, I suggest that you are then home and hosed with regard to likely questions for Unit 3 with regard to figure 1 and subsequent to 2 and 3 maybe as well. So if you have any questions, ladies and gentlemen, do contact me, hello@geekonomics.co.uk. That's on my contact page on my website, geekonomics.co.uk. If you're not a subscriber, hit the subscribe button below. I do appreciate that. And obviously, if you'd like to send me any questions via YouTube or anything at all like that, I'll do my very best to get back to you. So I hope that's been of use. I look forward to speaking to you next time. Bye.